being on here. So I'm going to start recording. First of all, y'all, this view is beautiful that I'm experiencing right now. The, the sunset and everything is stunning with the mountains, which, Christy, you live by mountains, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to ask some questions uh, from the guests. There's one guest specifically, since Carolyn's not here yet. There's one guest specifically. I just want to see how the workouts, because there's two people that got the memo 8 o'clock, right? And I don't think that's an accident. So Lori has worked with me for a while now. If you're okay, Lori, jumping in. She's worked with me for a while now, and I sent her the workouts, and I know she likes to work out. So I want to see what came up for her, just real fast, quick, and in a hurry. If you don't mind unmuting yourself, Lori.
Good morning, ladies.
While I get to this track. Good morning.
I hope everybody's doing good. I've got to be real honest. I have not gotten to the workouts.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
I did work out, but I have not gotten to the videos. So,
okay.
My boat is loaded now. Nicole knows that, but I'll tell y'all, my boat is loaded, and Nicole's been asking me to jump on these for a couple weeks, and Saturday was like my only sleep-in day, but she was bugging me, and I was like, okay, yes, no, I need to come, and I need to be a part, and I need to communicate and connect. And so I made that commitment for today. So I'm a little bit behind probably the group, or so I'm hopefully
nobody's
coming.
Behind. Yep, nobody's
Okay.
behind. Yep.
I'm coming to observe and be a part and just be open today. So
yeah, perfect. Okay, now thank you for sharing. And you are not the one, right, Christy? There you go, right there. The same thing. I mean, she was one of the first people. Like, when I got the memo to do this, I was literally walking this exact same trail that I'm walking right now. And I was like, okay, hit, and it was like, nope, don't wait, just message the girls right now and see if they want to do this experiment with you. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I did it, and I was like, through this week, so I'm telling you guys a little bit about what I experienced this week. Was, first of all, so much doubt, right? So much doubt. Like, I first thought of it, and it was like dopamine hit, invite my girls, invite Lori, invite these certain people, the names that came to me. But then it was like, okay, now you got to post on social media. And I was like, oh, like, I don't want to post on social media. It's like the worst. It's, for me, it's like nobody in interacts, or all the stories started coming up in my head. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep posting. And it was like, every time I had the idea, I posted. I never forced it. It was like, yeah, that feels right, I'm gonna post. Yeah, that feels right, I'm gonna post. Even if it was like 2 minutes apart, I just trusted the process. I was being obedient, right? And so as I was doing this, I was like, man, what if nobody shows up? What if nobody shows up? And it was like, at least you were obedient. What if people come and they're disappointed? At least you were obedient. And how many times are we, this is like the worst mosquito spot right here, guys. So if I get distracted, just let me get off this little corner. I'm not even kidding you guys. When I'm walking right here, it's like they swarm like gnats. I've never experienced this before. I can see them. They're so bad right here. It's awful. Okay. So this is the exact path that I was walking as I was texting you guys about this experiment. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to text them and tell them. So all that stuff came up for me this week, where it was like the doubt, like, well, maybe I'm just hearing this for myself. Is this me talking, or is this somebody else? Like, Is this higher thought patterns, or is this me just thinking this is something that I have to do? You know, do I think that I have to bring this message to the world? Either way, the thing is it didn't matter, because I couldn't explain it. Like, I was like, I just need to do this. And I messaged Jessica right away, voice messaged her. She's really good at bouncing things off of. And I messaged her almost in tears, just like, this is what I'm supposed to do right now. So the next question I have for you guys, and you can put it in the chats, but I just won't see it, is as you were doing the exercises, so there was just a few of you that did it, what came up in your bodies? Like, what did you feel in your bodies? Whoever wants to start.
I can start. I honestly, like, I started with a lot of like heat and discomfort in my upper back and my neck, like so uncomfortable. Like, I heard your words, like, don't push through pain, but I was like, this is not pain. This is like a dis-ease. And I immediately like got the download that like this is where I store the rigidity. Like, it's the place that I put it when I don't know what to do with it. And that manifests as like all day long. I'm like trying to like crack my neck. I'm like twisting, I'm turning, I'm popping, I'm like adjusting my upper shoulders. It's like constant. And I've noticed throughout this week, like as I've just breathed into that and like allowed it rather than judged it or wanting it to change, like just breathing into it, like it's released, like my neck is in a different position. Like, I still have a little bit of discomfort, but like I almost feel like my posture is taller through my back and my neck. And then, like I said, throughout the week, I've just been progressively feeling like lighter and more energized and more aligned. It's been pretty rad. Oh, you're muted.
There's a lot of road noise, so I'm going to mute while somebody else is talking. Okay. So hold on to that. And when the time starts, I'm going to utilize something with you, because you did get the opportunity to work into those fascial lines and you worked both sides. We're going to utilize that here in a moment as you're walking, because, and I knew, like, through this process, I honestly knew that not everybody would be able to do it. And I knew that, Jess, that you and maybe Danica, but you specifically would be, because you've done a lot. So a little bit of a story behind Jess before we start is that she's also had network care, which is something that is very specific to me. Now, Lori has also had network care, just being blatantly honest with everybody. But there's certain things that Jessica has experienced that's almost exactly like me. We've had the same mentors, we've had the same chiropractic care, we've had just a lot of the same experiences. And so I knew that she would be somebody that right at the beginning of this call, I could show, like, hey, you know how to pay attention enough. Let's utilize those fascial soreness, like the soreness within your fascia, to bring up what I'm talking about. Because a lot of the times, oh, here, let me admit some people. People are starting to jump on. Welcome, guys. We're just talking. We're just beginning. So just jump in and just start listening. If you're walking, just walk with us. And I'm sorry if it's a little vibraty, but it is what it is. It's so I could walk with you guys. And so I'm going to utilize her soreness specifically. And I knew that she would do it. And I knew that I could show people how easy it is using her soreness. Because remember, when I set this, I was like, I just want you to show up sore. So whether you already have pain or not, whether you do these exercises for 5 minutes or not, this is going to be this will bring something up for you. And depending on how much you do it is going to bring, like, we'll see how much it's going to actually bring up. So some of this is an experiment for me and Jessica. I thank you for being able to jump on this one live, and everybody who's joining. I'm so excited for you guys to get to be on the first one where I'm experimenting a little bit, but I'm also trying to show you guys how easy this is. Like, people make it so complicated. And another thing you need to know about all the women on this call is that every single one of you, I know you, and you care so much. You are very sensitive to the fact that you have a calling and you have a gift and you have so much to offer, and you're not settling for things that are going to steal your energy. You're not settling for the normal, like, I'm just going to let myself get sick. I'm just going to develop an autoimmune condition. I'm just going to develop this kind of illness. You're like, no, I don't care if a little bit I have to struggle financially. I don't care if I have to invest in myself. I don't care if I have to do hard things. Every single one of you in your own form does it. And we also judge ourselves a lot as well. And so as we're stepping into this today, I want you guys, as the clients that have been going through this with me for a few weeks, taking you back, and I'm going to sum this up for them around 8:30, 8:35, the Central Standard Time. I'm going to sum this up just a little bit so that everyone can be on the same page. But you guys that have been with me, I've been asking you like little simple things, right? That seem so insignificant. They seem like they're so just meh. That's like standing on one foot. What is that going to do for me? And I think sometimes we're so busy looking, or we're so even distracted by that's not big enough. That's not going to do enough, that we miss out on the opportunity of how easy it actually is, right? Because every one of you, while yes, you do also care a lot, there's something else you love to learn, and you love to learn about yourself. So setting the foundation of this, it's like this whole group of women is like, I know that there's something different. I care a lot. I have so much to offer, and I love, love, love to learn. And then you love to just help people. And every single one of you in this group, I can say is going to have an experience if you focus and come at it with curiosity. So just staying absolutely present the whole time. And if you don't, watch how you beat yourself up. Watch how that changes your mental state. Like, I have to be going off and doing this, or I'm not experiencing the tears and the bigness. Like, how much are you judging your experience? So taking a seat of curiosity, like you all have things that you came here and you were like, yes, I want to fix this. I want to fix this problem, or I want to experience more of this. No matter how much work we've been doing, right? We all have things that we're hoping for. And oftentimes we judge ourselves. But here's the big thing, is that I lost my train of thought. Let me get back to it. There's somebody else walking, an actual kid. So if you don't know, I'm walking and I have a stroller to hold my phone, but there's no child in it. But we made it look like there was a child in it. So you all have things. Now, you all came with something. I got back on the train of thought. You all have something. And I want you to take a seat of curiosity and recognize how this experience might impact it, just not in the form that you think it should impact it. Okay. Because maybe you're like a little bit like, I was so amped up about this. And I recognize that that creates like expectations, because that's one of the biggest things that I thought was, I was like, I have expectations of this now, and I could feel it. Oh, that feels so good to say. Like I could feel that I had expectations. I could feel that I was like, because I have such high expectations of this, because I'm so excited for this, I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to block the flow of the message that you want me to give these ladies. Because I was like, who am I? Right? I'm going to get in my way. Like, why should I be this excited? You know, what if I mess up? And I told you guys that that came up for me. So I'm just going to continue with that flow and say, is there anything that came up for anyone? And we'll start, like, Jess, we'll put you next, but like in the back. But for those of you that are jumping on, remembering that the clients, there's only 4 women that need to be unmuting themselves. Okay. And they know who they are for now until I open the door for more people. So Christy, Jess, Danica, and Carolyn, when she jumps on, those are the ladies that can jump on and ask questions and make statements. So when I'm saying this, there's like 10 bikers that just went around me. What's coming up for you guys, no matter what it is? Thinking a little deeper into maybe the thoughts that came up for you, the visions that, right? We've been working a lot on our vision. What have you been focusing on? So let's get a little bit more crystal clear right before this 8:30 pops on and potentially more people jump on. Who knows, right?
I actually have been noticing that when I did the exercises, as much energy as I have anyway, it's a different kind of energy.
Yes.
I
Okay.
feel definitely more flexible, more mobile. And with what I do for a living, you guys know I'm very active and jump up and down and run around and kick and do all the things that I'm not supposed to be able to do at my age, right? Ha ha ha, quote unquote. But it just made it even easier. And I did notice that every once in a while I'd get a little bit of a headache, but I know that that's just working through things. But I also know that I've had more motivation. And Jess and Nicole are going to be the only ones that understand what I say about this. But I actually just bought the web domain for Whisper Adventures, and I'm actually putting that into plan finally. So look,
Oh,
made me cry.
I know. I know, right?
Because I've been working on how to do it and what to do for so long. And I think honestly, what you said about standing on one foot and just doing the little simple things, that's the that's the part I've been missing. You know me, I have to go 100,000,000% in at all times, and then I don't get shit done.
Yep.
And so I'm taking little steps. I'm putting together a plan and took that step. And so it's my vision is definitely getting clearer, and I'm figuring out a way to make it happen.
Oh, Danica, that makes me so excited. So excited, right? Because we just miss the little things that, like, we get so caught up in putting our energy towards the big things. And it's like, well, I can't control those big things. So many times I can't control them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so that makes me so happy. And to hear that just taking care of your dog scared me. Just taking care of your physical form allowed you to do what you love better, right?
Yes.
Really highlight that, because so many times we forget that this temple has to get us through everything, and it has to get us through the things we love. And so many times our focus when we're taking care of our body is, I need to do it to look good. I need to do it to lose weight. Really, all it is to get information. It's to get feedback. Because through this process, I've told you guys, I'm a week ahead of you in this whole thing. And I keep asking myself, I'm like, why the heck am I being called to just tell them to stand on one foot? You do it. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to start and I'm going to do it. And then I'll give them the exercise. And so I would see like, oh, it was that simple. I would get an epiphany while I was standing on one foot or while I was walking, you know, and I would get that epiphany and I'd be like, oh, it was just that easy. That's all I needed to do. That's all I needed to do. And so I'm really excited to see what comes up. Now I might stop because I think the walking process is for me. And so I might stop and sit and take you guys through the process instead of me doing it, so I don't get distracted by how many things, because I need to stay absolutely focused. And for me, when I'm walking, it's like the rhythm, the lines on the road, the straight path. There's like not a lot of distractions, and so I can really hone in. But when I'm walking with you guys, I think there's some kind of a disconnect that happens. So I just want to be really present with that. Is there anything else for anyone else that's come up? Christy, Jess.
Something came up when you said the word expectations.
Yes. Okay. Let's hear it.
It's not a full thought yet, so I'm just like trying to go through it.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
First
But
thing that came up was my job.
Okay.
Because I do have high expectations.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, I'm a 5th grade teacher. So having those high expectations for my students and expecting one outcome gets blown up many times. And then the other thought I had was my financial situation.
Mhm.
And we talked about the word gratitude.
Yeah.
And now my thoughts are forming because there's been several times where I'm just like, we're going to run out of food, we're going to run out of money, and that's never been the case.
I love it. Yes. I love it. So can I clarify? Can I ask you a question about expectations? Was
Yes.
it you place really high expectations on your students, or you feel like there's high expectations on you?
I feel like there's really high expectations on me that I place on my students.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. So kind of an outside in, like the shadow that we talked about the other day, like closing your eyes and recognizing the shadow. Now, I know that I have other teachers on here. As a matter of fact, I have a principal on here as well, that it's like, she gets that too. Like, you guys are expected to teach for testing standards. And sometimes that interferes with the actual lesson, right? Because you're, again, just like what Danica was just saying, like the standing on one foot. Can we stand on one foot? Or do we, like, even with students, like you can see this with kids, can we stand on one foot? And so many kids are just like falling, and it's like, how can we expect them to sit up straight all day, not move, and learn, right? Because their brains could be getting exhausted just by sitting up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, and you guys have such high expectations placed on you that ripples into their reality. Now, Christy, I want you to take a little bit like through this week. This is specifically for you. Take a little bit through this week, and I want you to look at how last year's class that you really had a lot of issues with, like take that and take the expectations that you just that just hit you, and what I want you to do is just see how that relates to the last class and the gift that they gave you, and maybe the pushback that they had, because they gave you a lot of pushback.
Mm-hmm.
And how that maybe served, or the friction that it caused, what awareness it gave you. Okay. I'm giving people a few minutes to just jump in here. I'm having more and more come in. So just as they come in, I'm going to give like the roadmap at 7. No, we'll just go ahead and do the roadmap right now, because I'm here and I'm about to sit down. So those of you that are walking, that's great. We're going to utilize one of my ladies to to work through this process, okay? All right, I'm gonna sit down because I'm too distracted when I'm walking. So that might just be part for me, and then I get to show you guys what to do, okay? And then the camera's not shaking, I'm not distracted. So that's the thing, is like, our minds get pulled in a million different directions. Our minds get pulled in so many different directions. Just now, like, as they're popping on, I'm like, okay, I recognize, oh, I gotta let this person in. Okay, oh, I gotta let that person in. And that distracts me from my train of thought, right? It's like, okay, I'm right in the middle of this present moment with Christy, and then this jumps in, right? And so looking at that, I don't think there's anything that ever happens for an accident. And if we can get more sensitive to that, like more sensitive to the consistent interruptions, like the consistent people that are people, situations, things that are interrupting our lives, I think that they hold a very valuable message. And so the reason that I wanted you to come sore, come with that achy, come with it's that good pain, right? How often are we living our lives based off of pain that's screaming at us versus intentional pain? And those of you that didn't get to do the workouts, I don't want you to feel like, I don't want you to start beating yourselves up, because what I wanted everyone to get the experience of is where you're at, and meeting yourself where you're at with grace, and not judging where you're at. So as we start, and we're going to start the process, we're going to walk someone through this process that I take myself through, that has yielded like unbelievable results for me. And mind you guys, remembering that this is an experiment. So I've done this with somebody else quite often, but never in this form. So I want to take you guys on this experiment with me, so that maybe you can give me the feedback. Favors from everybody is, give me your feedback of like what came up for you, what you learned. Like, be so detailed and listening to, like, okay, that thought came up, write it down, or whatever it might be, like write it down immediately. Or that ache came up whenever we started talking about this. Or noticing, like, as I'm working with somebody, noticing where you feel stiff and you feel tight, or if I say something and it makes you like jump or tense up. Like, I want you to be so aware of so many different things that are going on, but try to stay like within your physical body and within the thoughts that create like a jolt or a charge, whether that's, and not judging it as good or bad, but just recognizing the things that are creating a jolt within your system. We got it? Okay, so we have our focus. Coming at this, right? This is an experiment. So coming at this with the mindset of curiosity, like, what is possible? What could happen for me? And then the thing that you'll have to do afterwards is pay attention to how it shows up in many different forms, and it will come up. So once we get into the experience, you'll start to see what I'm talking about. How can I pay attention to how much this has impacted my life? Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started. So Jess, if you wouldn't mind jumping on, say something so I can see your face.
Can you see me now?
I can. So Jess is walking. So she's doing the exact process that I take people through. She's walking. So Jess, as you're walking, and you've been walking for a while, so you've probably worked out some of the soreness. I want you to walk and feel your feet on the ground, which you probably already have been. Feel your feet on the ground. Okay. Feel the right versus the left. And tell me what you experience from the right versus the left. And you guys can all be doing this in your own bodies, even though you're not walking. Okay. So noticing the difference between the right versus the left side of your feet, whether you're walking or not. But Jess, I'm utilizing you.
So my right foot occasionally gets a little twinge of nerve pain.
Okay.
I've been struggling with plantar fasciitis. So when I walk, the right side especially talks, but then the left side also has that pain, but just at a lower level. And like, it doesn't usually get my attention unless like right now I'm very intentionally focusing on like, what are my feet saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are they feeling?
Okay. Ooh, I might have to walk just to keep the mosquitoes away from me. Okay, so you're doing that. You're walking. Now, that feeling in your right foot, let's just focus on that one because that one's louder. Okay. That one's louder. Now, that's not necessarily to say that the left foot is not trying to tell you something by not, right? Because we have blind spots. We have spots where it's like, and I have a lot of health practitioners on here as well. And it's like, we know that just because you're hurting in one area doesn't mean that that is the area of the problem. Okay. So starting with that right foot, because it's louder, right? It's louder. Can you maybe like concentrate on like fanning your toes, spreading your toes out? And I want you to visualize that ache. And I want you to look at it almost like as a bar of light, like follow it like it's a bar of light within your mind's eye. So as you're walking it, every time it hits the ground, and my ladies that are not walking, notice if you're starting to move your feet. If you're starting to move your feet and wiggle your toes, but just like feel your toes as they hit the ground, feel the pads of your feet as they hit the ground, feel your heel as it hits the ground, like almost trying to fan into that space and let it light up. Okay. Okay. And then tell me what you notice. Tell me, does it localize when you pay attention to it? Or do you notice maybe somebody somewhere else has the same pain? Maybe it's not just in your foot. Maybe you start to notice, oh, my hip is getting tight, or my knee is starting to act weird.
Yeah. So I'm noticing that as I give it more attention and focus and visualizing it as light, like initially, like every time I walked, it was just like a flashing like light bulb. But then the more I kind of leaned into it, like that light would spread out to my toes and like up the back of my calf.
Yes.
And my left hip is calling more attention.
Okay, so your right foot and now your left hip. So let's just walk with that. Allow those to talk to each other, allow them to light up and just experience them as lights. And as you're doing it, as you're taking each step, just experience them lighting up for a moment. And ladies, I'm telling you, if you are paying attention, you will start to notice in your own body. You might notice that your own feet are moving. And as your own feet are moving, you might catch that space that you are like, oh, I see that little light. It might not be in your right foot like it is for Jess. It might be in your left heel. Okay. And if it's in your left heel, just work into it. Work into that space to where you really get clarity on it. So as you're moving your feet around, get really clear on that ache. Get really clear on that tension that might be there. Like hers, plantar fasciitis. Now notice how this week I made her work, not made her, but she chose to work into the fascial lines, right? And I knew that the fascial lines hold memory, and they hold spaces where they'll bind information. And the reason that I'm having you look at it like it's light is because every time your body does a process, it utilizes energy. And when you are having to utilize more energy to do one action, so for her right foot is having to work harder than her left foot, right? For some reason, she has more metabolic waste, more tension in her right foot. And so I'm pointing her mind simply to an area of her body that is not using energy efficiently. And then she's paying attention to it and she's recognizing, oh, this ripples all the way up into my left hip. right, Jess?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now after I was talking, what came up? Like as you were being present with that, what came up for you?
Well, my right foot feels really hot.
Okay.
Like the whole inside of my shoe is like sweaty.
Yep. Okay. Has the pain
In
changed?
comparison to my left, like
Yeah.
my right foot is definitely way hotter
Okay.
in terms of energy. And like that initial kind of like sharp pain that I was feeling, I don't feel it now, but I feel the pain more intensely in my left hip.
Left hip. Okay. So let's go back down to where that right foot, for some reason, it wasn't like, I'm not saying the right foot is bad. Like, that is a problem. Do you notice that? I did not say the right foot is the problem, right? I also said, we don't know what's going on in the left foot because it's not talking. So for a moment, you really feel that left hip. Go pay attention to the blind spot where it's not really yelling. Go fan out your left foot. Do the same thing, connect into your left foot, right? And for those of you that jumped on a little bit late while she's doing that, what we did at the beginning of these 4 weeks that they've been with me, so that we started in August. And the first exercise that I gave them was stand on one foot for 30 seconds. That's all, right? That's all I gave them. And what that brought up was like so much chaos of like, that seems too simple. Like I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And so I couldn't bring myself to do it. So it brought up a lot. And that was the whole purpose of doing it. It's just stand on one foot and see what the small things do to your mind, right? Okay, so Jess, now what's going on? Now that you've kind of paid attention to both feet, like bouncing back and forth.
Well, it's interesting because initially the discomfort I was feeling in my left foot was kind of more in the arch, but like towards the heel. And as I really settle in, I can feel the discomfort, like it sharpened my heel and it actually kind of shoots up the back of my leg a little bit, which I find interesting. Just like an observation of that right foot felt so intense that I didn't even notice that there was discomfort in the heel and up the calf on the left side until I just really like sat with it.
Yes, right. And sometimes like we're so distracted by the loud things. We're so distracted. But here's the thing. We're distracted in trying to fix it because we think it's a problem. So you probably were associating the right foot pain that's probably more than just today. Like you feel it more than just right now. Yeah.
Oh, there was a time when I would get off my shifts in the ER, like I almost had to crawl into the house. My foot was so bad. Like I almost couldn't even walk on it. Like I would be in tears.
And so this has been a problem for a long, and in your mind, this has been a problem for a long time, right? What if it's been an interference, right? And we haven't paid attention to it. And so this is for my ladies, like that have something going on. Now translate this. Like I do it very physically because it's so easy. It's so easy. Your pain has changed already, right?
Yeah, like all I feel in the right foot right now is it's like this calming warm.
Yeah.
But the left foot is like screaming now.
Yes.
Like I don't even notice the right foot. The left foot is like, ow, ow, ow.
Okay. So being really present with that, I want you to feel what it needs. Does it need to stop? Does it need to roll? Does it need to stretch? Do you need to bend forward and stretch? Like what do you need to come up? Like what does your body need to do? And now my ladies that are joining it that are not walking like she is, maybe you suddenly feel like, okay, I need to get up and do this. I need to get up and stretch out my ankles. I need to get up and like that left hip, maybe I need to work into that left hip a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you need to stop, honoring that and allowing yourself to stretch too. And Jess, I know you're on like the hot spot because your camera is loud. So if you feel like you need to shut your camera off to do what you need to do, I give you permission to do that, to like stretch or whatever it might be. But so we've looked into our feet, Jess. And now I want you to take a global like assessment. Maybe, so you notice your left hip. Where else does it feel like there's still like that light is like really nitpicking? Next, spine, right between shoulder blades.
Yeah, right between my shoulder blades, it's like massively intensified. So I felt called to stretch my quad, my left quad.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And like feel that stretch into the hip. But as I'm doing that, like it's almost like a sharp burning pain between the upper part of my shoulder blades and even into like the base of my C-spine.
Okay. So what I want you to do is put both feet on the ground, fan out your toes, let each toe feel the ground, maybe roll your feet out on the ground together.
I need to get my shoes off. My feet need to be naked.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Okay. Exactly. And so really bouncing into your feet, feeling into your feet, and everybody that's doing this process with me, I can only see Jess, and I can only see Jess because I want to stay focused right here, right now. Okay. All of us are focusing. And what I'm asking you to focus on is that little light, that burning, whatever that little light looks like for you or feels like for you. I want you to pay attention to it in your form. Okay. That's where you're focusing. So I'm taking Jess through this process, but everybody else, like Danica, that stomach pain that you were feeling, noticing into that, like that might be where you need to notice into. Christy, where you get the headaches, maybe that's what you need to feel into. Maybe for somebody else, it's low back pain, really feeling and allowing your brain to receive the signals. Like just let it get the information. Now, Jess, what I want you to do, you've connected in, is I want you to, in through your nose, I want you to try to stretch that space right behind your heart by breathing in through your nose and then feel it collapse down. And then breathe in and feel it stretch and then let it relax. And if you guys have that same space, if anybody else has that same space, I want you to do the same thing. Like allow your breath to stretch it, not to where it hurts. Remember, I said, I want you sore, not in pain, right? And some of you might be like, but I do face real pain. Okay. I don't want you to push it into pain. I want you to like stretch it to where it's like, it feels good. It feels good. It might feel uncomfortable, but it feels like I'm connecting in here. So Jess, what do you feel? What do you notice?
Well, the first thing I noticed was that I needed to get my feet in dirt.
Okay.
So I like dug all the rocks off the top of this dirt. So my naked feet could be in dirt. And as I'm breathing into it, honestly, like that discomfort is intensifying and spreading out to the back sides of both shoulders and almost like deep into the shoulder joints.
Okay. And when you were starting, did you like when you did the first exercise, you mentioned a lot of pain at the base of your neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe surrender and allow your head to fall. Like if the phone needs to come down too, you can allow, because carrying the phone could be it. So notice, ladies, how you're sitting and allow yourself to like surrender. So maybe it's letting your head fall. So it's funny. The next exercise I gave you guys was spinal roll-ups, right? It was spinal roll-ups. And so right now, what I want you to do is I want you to feel that it shouldn't intensify. It shouldn't be super painful. So maybe it's just you literally tuck your chin this much. And maybe you're somebody, I'm gonna come back here. Maybe you're somebody who needs to stop and do it like this. This is a posture that people don't take very often. Like they don't take this, let me surrender here. I want you to round your spine and I want you to feel, so as you did those fascial workouts, you felt that posterior line of fascia, right, Jess? That elasticity. Okay, I want you to find and see how much of that posterior line, so that's all the way from the base of your foot, the bottom, the fascial part of your foot, all the way, and it will attach right up here on your forehead. So if you can tuck your chin and allow yourself to feel it through that entire posterior line. If you can't do that, just feel that stretch through the back of your spine, okay? And adding to that, I want you to just like it might be like a little breath. Just allowing yourself to breathe through that space. It should not hurt at all, because if it hurts, you're not doing it. Like your system will go on guard. This process won't work if you're pushing through pain. And right now I feel like I'm being called to say, as you guys do this, as you guys breathe into this, I'm being called to say, how much of your life are you creating by pushing through pain? How many steps every single day are you taking and you're pushing through? Because every single step that you take and you push through something, it creates a whole new set of doors that you have to push through. It creates a whole new set of experiences that you have to push through, that you have to be interrupted to say, hey, is this real? And so it could just be that you need a process, but it could also be all of these pain points are a higher power, our higher power. And the reason that I say that is because I know from all of my different walks of life, I've met people where they've seen this power through yoga, and somebody else has seen this power through Christianity, and somebody else has seen this power through Taoism. And I know that not everybody is meant to hold that perspective. And so wherever you found that intelligence that makes a tree know when to lose its leaves, wherever you found that intelligence that makes a spider already know how to form its web, even before it was born, right? Even in your mother's womb, I knew you. And how many times are we pushing through the pain, trying to do more for that intelligence that's already like, dude, I created you with a certain set of things that you'll like. I created you with a certain set of things that you don't like. I've created you with a certain set of energy levels. I've created you with a certain set of temper. I've created you with a certain set of guilt, shame, resentment. I have created you perfectly to unfold. Have you guys ever looked at, let's say, a fern and looked at the organization within the fern? Have you ever just like looked up through the net of the trees and been like Jess has some really good trees behind her. Like, have you looked at those trees are not trying to be something they're not? Have you ever watched ants? They in their zone. They know what they doing and they not stepping outside of their zone, right? How about bumblebees? They just doing what they do, right? Now we might have this part of our brain that allows us to decide. We have discernment. We have this prefrontal cortex that allows us to decide. I'm going to pause and I'm going to see, how are you guys feeling? Are you feeling like you're moving? Like I can see Jess has just started to intuitively move into her body. She's just started to intuitively move into the systems and into the places that she needs to move into, right? She's kind of letting the fascia do what it needs to do. So she's seeing it and then it moves. It's done. All you got to do is see it and then it moves. It's done. Check in, process, integrate. So Jess, you're feeling that, right? You felt something just kind of take over.
I did. And what's interesting is like, I just felt like I needed to do like this gentle, like massaging.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was doing that and as you were talking, like tears just started rolling down my face. Like there's no
reason, right?
There's no reason, like there's no emotional feeling, but like tears are just rolling down my face. Like I don't connect that with any thought. I don't connect that with any like hard emotion. It's just like all of a sudden they were there.
Amazing. Amazing. I want to elaborate into that. So one of the things that we were blessed with, every living creature, right, is blessed with is a rest, digest, heal, and a fight, or fight, flight, trees. Even the trees have rest digest. They lose their leaves and they go into deep rest, right? And then we have this take action state. And so right now, what has happened in society is that we judge these systems as, I should not be in this stress state. No, that's not the truth at all whatsoever, right? These are just base mechanisms of protection. Now, here's the thing. We have a brain where we get to discern. But what's happened is we've turned this organ that is meant for discernment into judgment. And so what we're doing is we're starting to judge. So just like Jess, maybe at the beginning or in the past, thought that right foot pain was a problem. It was a problem. Or maybe for somebody else in this call, it's a lack of energy. Maybe for somebody else, it's anxiety. Maybe for somebody else, it's depression. Maybe it's for somebody else, I don't like my spouse. Right? We feeling this? Maybe for somebody else, I feel like I'm not enough. Maybe for somebody else, I feel like it's all my fault. Maybe for somebody else, I just feel disconnected. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Right? And we're judging it instead of being like, all right, we judge it as bad. Instead of looking at it as like, okay, this is just information. When I'm anxious, it's just information. When I'm depressed, it's just information. And the key thing that we don't do is process that information. We just keep going and just keep pushing through pain. So every next step, the next step that we take, the next step that we take, the next step that we take, we're creating the same reality of having to push through more pain. Whether that's in your finances, whether that's in your job, whether that's in your mental state, whether that's in your relationships, your social, your family, your physical health, we all experience it differently. And yet there's a million ways that the universe is trying, universe, God, no matter what you call it, it's trying to get your attention. And we put on these masks, and we talked about this last week, me and my ladies. We put on these masks of, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Maybe you have developed a lot of strategies of endurance, and you're like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I got this. And then it's like the world was crashing down. You judge yourself. Right? I thought I was doing good. I was doing all the work. Right? I was doing things right. So Jess, what's coming up for you now?
Well, as you were talking about, like, we just push through pain, like, I've definitely developed over time, like, that resilience factor.
Mm-hmm.
And as, like, when I think back to when I very first noticed my right foot, I was like, oh, yeah, I see you. You're there. I got it. Like, we've been really busy. I understand why you're hurting.
Yep.
It, like that was the message I gave it. But then I built this construct around myself of, I have to push and I don't have a choice. Like, I got so rigid in the fact that I didn't have a choice that the pain in my foot just kept increasing until the point where it was like, I'm going to show you no choice. Like, I'm going to hurt so bad that you can't walk on me. And then that led me to a path of like, well, let me do more yoga. Let me stretch more. Let me reach out to my uncle who's a physical therapist. Let me go invest in some really expensive orthotics, which all of it has definitely supported the feeling to be less intense. But the truth is, I still never took the time to lean into like the wisdom of that discomfort.
Why is it interrupting you in the first place, right? Why is it there?
Correct.
We do so many things to try to minimize, numb, get us back to the place that we were, right?
Correct.
Let me support this pain so that I can keep doing the things that I'm doing. Except that physical pain is there to interrupt a pattern. And we don't pay attention to the fact that it's there to interrupt a pattern, right? And we just keep pushing through it. And in the chat, so if you are relating to this, if it's like, yeah, I am just pushing through something. Well, here's the thing. The more that we push through those signals, and Jess it's coming up for Jess very physically. And some people are very physically oriented. Like for me, I can get these messages by dancing with my body. But maybe for you, it's your social, it's your friendships. You recognize these barriers and these pain points within your friendships, within your relationship with your spouse. Again, God is always trying to get you to see where you are trying to take the reins. Right? He's always trying to interrupt your patterns, interrupting them. And we don't stop and slow down long enough. So those ladies, there's no judgment whatsoever. And Christy, you can jump in here for a second if you want to. You don't have to, but if you just want to put it in the comment section, that's fine as well. But when I'm talking about this and knowing like, I didn't get to do those workouts, but what did you get to do? What did you choose to do instead? Right? What did you choose to do instead? There's no judgment whatsoever.
Well, Nicole, when you're saying that, like what comes up for me is like when Christy was sharing earlier, like where's the time? And I'm so exhausted. Like,
yep.
Christy, I know I don't know you well, but like what I resonate with in that energy is like I mentioned, like that construct of like, I don't have a choice, so I'm going to keep pushing until my body like forced no choice. And like I feel like I mirror, like I feel like there's a construct there that I'm mirroring in my own story.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. And hold on, I want to grab this thing because it's popped up twice now. So let me figure out what it's going to say, what I need to say. Talking about that construct of like, I have no choice. I have no choice. Oh, it'll come back to me when it needs to. But Christy, is there anything that comes up for you there? Let me check the comments. I tell myself I have to push through because I have to work, whether it hurts or not. Mental state instead of physical. Exactly. So that, Christy, I'm so glad you said that. So Christy came, and I'm going to be transparent with everybody. Okay. Christy came, and her biggest pain point was her mental state. Right. So she chose to work there. And when she jumped on this call, she was really, really happy. She told me she was in a better place. Right. She was like, so she chose to work on that thing that was creating more pain. And she ended up like that. You were probably being called to work on your mental state more than you were called to be working your physical.
Yes. So you asked me to write down 30 gifts. And so I had my notebook next to where I eat. It like went around all over the house with me. And whenever I thought of something, I just jotted it down.
Yes, absolutely. And when you came to this, your greatest pain point was strong emotions. So do you see how that universal intelligence that teaches the spider how to make its web, that is how it was trying to get your attention, right? That is how you chose, right? You chose to work on the thing that you thought would be most valuable, right? And it had the highest pain point. So do you see, you didn't do anything wrong at all by missing the workouts. You still did the work for yourself, just where you needed to do it. So maybe next week you'll have the space, or maybe next week, it's just, we judge ourselves so often that we made one choice, but we were supposed to be doing something else. And that's just not the case. Right.
Yeah. And I agree. It's always a choice. Cause I remember like I would have certain thoughts, like sitting around with my family, And I was like, oh, like I could sneak away and go to another room and do a workout. Like,
Mm.
no, I'm choosing to be with my family.
Living in your values, right? Living in your values. That's like that is so powerful. And one of the things that we don't do is organize our lives around our values. We organize it around work. So we
Mhm.
think,
Yes.
right? And you value teaching, right? You value teaching. And hold on, I'm going to set this on the back burner really quick, and we're going to go back to Jess. Okay, we're going to go back to your physical feelings. Okay, and Danica, for you, it's both. Let me touch on that really quick. Jess, talk to me so that I can hear you, so I can see you again.
Can you
But-
see me?
Yeah, but for
Okay.
Danica, so for me, it's both. Again, how aware can you get of all the different ways, and how sensitive can you get to all the different ways your life is trying to be interrupted? And it doesn't even have to be that, no, this is the wrong choice. No, it's just, let's process this and let's do it together, right? One of the verses that I really like in the Bible is, God's a gentleman. He's going to stand outside the door and wait. And so if your reality in front of you has a million doors, and you keep choosing to open the door where you have to push through pain, God's like, okay, I'm a gentleman. If this is the door that you want to open, I'm going to open it. But so many of us don't.
And she's gone.
Yeah, I think she got kicked out.
Oh, maybe. I'm trying to get rid of my doors. I've always had too many doors.
Mm-hmm.
I have created too many doors in resistance of the door that God's standing at.
Pretty common. Absolutely.
I'm just going to take
I do.
ownership of that.
Last day that I don't need to take,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Trying to be more aware of what doors are closed and which ones are open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always looking for that next thing. And like she said, the next step and the next step and the next step instead of the thing that resonates with me the most.
Mm.
And that's with where I'm at in my life. I believe that's 100% fear-based, out of feeling a lack of
Yeah.
the financial stress, the work stress, all the things. So then you push towards things that you think will fix it. Instead, you just throw a Band-Aid on it for 5 seconds and you're backwards to where you wanted to be.
Right. You push through.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm no farther ahead. Sometimes we're farther behind.
Right.
Danica, as you were sharing about your Whisper, like your website, like there was two parts of me simultaneously. Like one part of me was so jealous, and then that jealousy like triggered this awareness that I have an expectation on the form that my gift, like my, what I'm supposed to give to this world should take. And it's in like I'm so attached to the fact that like it has to be a business. And now that I'm in this new like educator role, I'm recognizing that God will open doors and change forms as many times as he needs to help me stay in my mission. And like
I love that.
that's been huge. This last week, I'm gonna tell you, has been so much freaking fun. And it's like the first week that I've really just like, holy shit, I'm having a blast.
So my phone died, guys. So sorry. I sprinted home. I'm sweating to get back in here. So you guys, I'm so excited you were talking about the form, because we get so attached to the form that we can't be interrupted, and that we can't create the form that we actually want. So again, to another layer of what we've been talking about these last 4 weeks, what have I been doing? I've been having you get crystal clear on your visions for what you want the future to look like, right? I've been having you get so like purifying those visions and recognizing, like we talked about, if we have a million doors in front of us, this is the one I would like, because this is where my imagination can go. But I'm also okay if these other doors are opened, even if they're a little uncomfortable, right? Because we've been looking at, like, okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a story that I have experienced over the last, like, well, kind of like 4 weeks, but really it's been the last, maybe since January. I'll say since December 21st. That's what I'm going to be that specific. I remember I made a decision for myself. I committed to it. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be transparent here. And I'm going to say, all right, I wanted to make $5,000. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to commit to this coach, and she's going to help me make $5,000. December 21st, I did this. And so I paid her with my line of credit. The next day I got a job. Now, it was worth $5,000 over the span of 4 months. So looking at that, like, look at that. Now, it was already working. I just needed to get crystal clear on what I wanted. Like, God's already working in your background. You just need to get crystal clear on the doors you want to go through. So do you want to keep going through the doors that are making you push, that are making you push through pain, that are making you drain your energy? What I want you to do with these visions is use your imagination. And remember how these past weeks I've been like, blow it up, send it up in that hot air balloon. You got those worries? Send them up in those hot air balloons. You got those dreams? Send them up in that hot air balloon. So December, that happened. And then I started being like, I found a pastor, and I told the ladies this on the first call. I found a pastor that I did 21 days of prayer and fasting. And what that did, it hyped me up. I was like, man, I didn't even know I could pray like this. I didn't even know, I was like, man, that's exciting. And so I didn't even know I could dream for these things and not feel guilty. I didn't even know. And so I started dreaming. I was like, what is one thing you want to do? Well, I would like to teach people about their bodies. Boom, physiology job. I would like to, and I wasn't so clear, and it took me a little bit of time to recognize that this was actually happening as fast as it was. It was like, what do you really want? Well, I want a family where I can play with my kids. I want a playroom. I have 2 playrooms now, as a matter of fact, right? We have 15 minutes or 10 minutes left. I'm just going to really hit this home really fast. Jess, all we did was work into your physical body, right? And all of this stuff just naturally came up. The tears, your parasympathetic nervous system kicked on, because tears are very healing. Doesn't matter why. So many times we're like, why am I crying? Why is this happening? Why? Instead of just like, oh, my body just released something. Who cares what it was? I'm crying. Let's get those tears out. But so many times we label our symptoms as something that's bad instead of using them as something that's on the way. So it's interrupting you. The symptom is literally not letting you live life. So maybe that's your sign that the life that you're trying to live is going to suck the life out of you, right? Or it's trying to get you to pay attention, right? Trying to get you to do something different. All we did was work on Jess's feet for that, right? We just started in that right foot. Now, you ladies are used to this process happening, but the reason I wanted you to see it through your physical body is because I want you to see how easy it is to just start to work into your body, and life will start to ripple. So another thing, like, that you can look at this, you can find this in the Vedas, you can find this in Buddhism, you can find this in Taoism, you can find this in Christianity. It's spending time in the temple. And it's calming the waves of your mind so that you can look below all those human emotions, because everywhere around us, you can see that there is a human dysfunction, right? We just have the dysfunction of being able to make a choice, right? It's our free will. We've been given this free will, and yet we're chained by it because we won't actually use it. Because God wants to use you, But if you keep making choices that drain your energy, that make you inflexible, that make you to where you can't run the race that you've been called to run, because you're like, all right, no, I got to do this. No, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't got to do that. Maybe you just got to pay attention to your energy and see like, all right, because this is something I've told every single one of you, pay attention before, during, and after an event. If before you've been dreading it the whole time and it's sucking the energy out of you, we got to check in with that. Do I have a judgment? Do I have a fear? Do I have an anxiety? I'm not saying that task or that event, or whatever it is bad. It's why is my energy drained right beforehand? And maybe during your energy is drained. Why is it drained before this? Because I hate it. I don't like to do it. It's simple as that. But we don't slow down enough to have that communication without judgment of like, really? I just want to spend time with my family. Like Christy, I'm not going to judge myself. I want to spend time with my family. Right? But there's also this nag of like, I want to do more for my physical body, but I don't have time. But guess what? Now you're at a place where you can start looking at like, okay, I'm going to start actually dreaming big. Like, do I want to take that time? Okay, I want to take that time. Can you make it possible? And then show it. So one of the things I did was I took a screenshot of my visions that I've had at going through this process with these ladies. And I'm watching it. Check, 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 check. Just ticking off the boxes of like, it didn't come in the form that I thought it was going to come in, but it came. Now, are you happy with this or would you like it in a more specific form? All right. It's almost like Chat GPT, you know, like, let me just ask Chat GPT this. Oh, that's not really what I want. Let me get a little bit more specific. Guess what? You can do that. And because you are here right now and you are so loved, and every single one of you, I've asked you this, what is God? And everybody says God is love. Then do you think that he loves that you're making choices that are stealing your energy all the time and making it to where you can't be you? You can't use those gifts that are energizing, that radiate to the world. Like, when I'm talking to you guys, do you see like that? I'm on fire for this. Like, I've been on fire for this all week. I've been on fire for this all day. That's energizing. So my energy is not being stolen. It's amplifying. Right? I'm not taking steps that are stealing energy. I'm taking steps that are amplifying it. And I wanted to show you guys this way to show y'all how easy it is for that to be possible. We just need to get really, really, really specific. So Jess, talk to me so that you can pop back up. If she's still there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Now tell me how your feet feel.
Well, I'm still sitting.
Okay.
And like the word that comes to mind is happy, free. Like they
Free.
felt free being naked in the dirt.
Yeah. Okay. And probably being seen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now as you go for your walk, as you start walking again, when that time comes, now
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you see it's like, oh, so you had that right foot pain, that left really. So do you see how it's like, yeah, I just need to work into my feet more and pay attention when I'm working, and God's going to give me the guides, right? Because on Instagram, and you don't even have to pay for it. Here's the crazy thing is like on Instagram, I'll get a pop-up of like, oh, you need to do that exercise. That's just a screenshot. I used to think I needed to pay all these coaches. I'm like, that exercise, I need to do that exercise. And I'll go do that exercise. And it'll be like 2 seconds later, oh yeah, here's this class where you can go learn how to grow a flower garden. And it's like, oh, I want to do this. And Jared's like, oh, I already got the ticket for you to do that. Like, what? How is that even possible? Oh, you want a Vibe plate? Oh, hey, Jared comes in. He says, oh, hey, Brad said you could come up and use the Vibe plate all you want. Do you see, like, I wanted the Vibe plate to be in my house. Instead, it was at Jared's office where I get to go play with a bunch of physical therapists that are like just as nerdy as I am. So it's even better. It's even better than what I thought. So now it's like, now, Jess, how you feel about going and working into your feet?
Oh, good. I know, like, it's like you said, recognizing that the feelings, the discomfort is information. And like, this is like my call to just get more curious about it and like leaning into what's the message
Yeah.
rather than like, oh, it's a pain, I have to fix it.
Yes. Yes. I just fix it so I can keep going through the same doors, keep doing the same things that I've been, right? I'm going to take these last few minutes, ladies. Thank you, Jess, for letting me use you. Thank you, Christy, for letting me use you. Danica, and I don't know if Carolyn ever got on, but thank you guys for letting me use you. And I want to take a moment to allow some of the people who joined, it was 3 people. And guess what? A year ago, I'd have judged myself. Oh, that was only 3 people. And now I'm like, that was 3 people. So those 3 people that were here to experience this experience and this experiment, does anybody want to say something? Can I hear from any of you? I don't know who's still on.
Hey, I'm here. This
Nice.
is Natalie.
Yes.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, you're such a channeler. Oh man, you're straight up channeling straight from God. This is amazing. I have known Nicole for maybe 3-4 years now. She did a network spinal analysis on me, and that completely changed my life. I feel like it made my awareness so much bigger. And I was just like, I was so young too, coming into it. And I had no idea what was going on. But just like all of a sudden, I just like started to gain so much intelligence from so many different places. And I felt like I also was able to like hear my inner self and hear God through me like clearer and louder. And you know, as I went on to through my life and its journey, I realized how much I wasn't living in my authenticity, and like that I've always known that I wasn't supposed to do the conventional path. And that I was supposed to explore my gifts and to see, you know, to look at like what I'm innately drawn to. And what I think is so special about the work that you're doing, Nicole, is that like it is so cellular, and it's so specific to like, it's like the baseline. It's like the fundamentals of like what we should all learn from the time that we're babies, to listen to our bodies, to listen to what's going on, because you know, like this is at the cellular level, but like, you know, and then when you grow into like a mystic type of awareness where you're like now having premonitions or like, you know, understanding, like seeing 10 steps ahead in your awareness and things like that, like that's what we as women are like supposed to cultivate, I feel. You know?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like some people can see they'll get flashes of that 10 steps ahead, but because we haven't been taught to slow down and listen to that, it's like there's so many people lose that because it's scary. It's like, how can I even, and for me, I know that I was even afraid to dream and afraid to do like, to think like I could do that because there were so many layers of guilt, shame, resentment, pride, which is real sneaky. That one's a beast, pride. And so pride it's the one that hides. It's the blind spot. It's the left foot in Jessica, right? It was the left foot. It was that one that's like, we don't think to look there.
Right.
So yeah, so it is at a cellular level. And the more that I'm teaching like physiology, and thank you for your input, by the way, Natalie, like
Yeah.
it's so big that when I am looking and I'm teaching physiology and I'm teaching microbiology and I'm teaching genetics, I'm like, this intelligence is at such a cellular level. It's molecular, it's atomic. And if we literally can listen that closely to, okay, when, and I think maybe Lori might understand this, but so I was teaching physiology, I was teaching genetics and microbiology, and these two things were coming together, and it was like charges. I always talk about a charge. I always talk about polarity, because what happens when there is a charge, it takes energy to keep that in check. It takes energy to keep that at the cellular level. That is happening. Now, if we're taking, like, if we're eating a food that creates a big charge in us, or if we hold a thought while we're eating a food and that creates a big charge within us. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, if we start blaming our food, if we start blaming eating perfect, if we try to be perfect, the charge just gets greater and greater and greater. And what's happening is we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker, because we're judging the symptom as the problem. And then we are also thinking the root is a problem when it's not. Is the root for a flower a problem? No. Is the root for a tree a problem? No. It's the source of information. It's the source of energy. It's the source of resources. So if we can go back to the root, we get a whole different burst of reality. Our reality completely changes, because the perspective that we're viewing our symptoms and our pain from is not from a place of lack. It's from a place of lack of judgment and trust. Does that make sense, everyone?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Anybody else that's new? Lori, Casey, anybody have any input that they want to give?
Mine was just my back.
Yeah.
Always.
And what did you notice while you were moving through that?
That I need to help, not help, but I need to let it go,
Let what go?
stretch it out,
You need to
think
be
through
fit.
it and move
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Be with it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to take a side note, everyone. And we're going to give this woman some glory, because I wouldn't be here with you guys as open of a channel as I am, as the ability to flow through all this, had it not been for this woman's prayers. So everybody give her like a round of applause in your own form, because this is the woman that raised me. So again, if anybody ever doubts that motherhood is kingdom work, here you go. It's this right here. So when you ever feel like you're not doing enough, this is the woman that that got me where I'm going and continues.
And proof that he listens.
Yes.
And that he does answer,
Mhm.
because it took a lot of prayer in
Yep.
the last couple of years too.
You should have been praying for me forever.
I have been, but the last couple of years have been,
Extra.
yeah. I have.
Because
I'm
my
very
pride.
proud of you.
Because of my pride, guys. Not because anything was wrong, but because I thought I could do it on my own. Because I kept pushing through pain. And because I thought it had to come in the form that I needed it to come in. And that's just not the truth. And so it's a lot easier. And this is, and like, Carolyn's not on here, but every time I would sit down and pray for you guys, or the next day. Remember, we had a call and Carolyn suddenly got some of the worst information, and we got to talk through that friction that came up. She got to change her perspective on it, and then the whole case changed. Right? So just like Jessica's foot, when a life situation pops up like that, just like your back pain, just like your neck pain, if you can spend some time with it, the direction completely changes, and you won't even know it. You won't even realize it. Like, because that reality is not going to exist, because you are no longer going to choose the reality of you pushing through pain. Do you see that? And there is going to be pain but you're going to look at it differently. You're going to look at it as on the way, not in the way. Anybody else have anything? This is open to everyone. Lori, I didn't get you. If you want to pop on, pop on.
Okay, I'm popping on.
Okay, yes.
Um, I was gonna say something along your comment about pain along the way,
Mhm.
because I've had a history of pushing through pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this last season of life, I've really been trying to close the doors that I don't need to be walking through,
Mm-hmm.
and then really focusing on the ones that I do. And so I was listening to all of this because I'm in a place where I feel like I have to push through uncomfortable things to reach the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Things that maybe I've always kind of avoided or haven't been as intuitive to me, or like maybe I lack some skills.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one thing that's really been coming up for me is fear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I have actually been pushing through some pain, but I feel like it's in a positive way. So I don't know if that resonates with anybody. But I know there's certain skill sets of my personality that life has afforded me some opportunities to grow and push away the fear and say, I know that this is a good thing for me. I need to be present. I need to learn. I need to understand. Um, so I'm not really sure how that fits in through the
No,
pushing through
yeah,
the
that's
pain, but
perfect. Actually, that is a great point that you brought up. See, nothing is like, it always gets brought up perfectly. That's why I love group work, because the reflections and the mirrors, it's unbelievable what happens through group work. So that's why I wanted to make this free. So pushing through pain. When it comes to that, it's like, is the pain just crawling through the door at the end of the day? Would you say that your pain is like that or no? Because there's a pain that stops you from moving forward. And then there's that pain where it's like that workout pain, where it's like, that's that pain from doing fascia work. That's that pain from working out. You get what I'm saying? That's that pain from doing the work that is aligned with me, from taking care of myself, right? There's two different kinds of pain, right? There's pain that interrupts you, and there's pain that's like, yeah, you know what? After you do a good core workout, you're like, oh yeah, that's a good sore. That's that 6-pack sore, right? Do you feel the difference?
yes, I do.
Okay. Yep.
And I think what's helped me along the way is to know that I can see goodness on the other side.
Yes.
I can see, okay, if I sit with this, if I stay engaged, if I problem solve, if I pray, if I do move in the way that I feel is appropriate, there is a reward on the other side.
Yes. And it's a reward in so many different ways. It's like faith is the things hoped for, right? Well, that means you got to start hoping. You got to start hoping. And you got to start using your imaginations to hope for things. Because here's the thing, no matter what you do, right? I'm just doing the things that I love to do, right? I'm spending time with my family more than not. And I'm recognizing that little, that ain't right. That ain't right. You don't need to take that step. And I'm not judging it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, is that me saying that? Or is that something else? And it's like, no, that's going to interfere with the direction that you and I are going together. Right. And that's like, me and God, we're trying to create this where my energy is overflowing, to where I can overflow, to where those people that can't afford this kind of work, they can get it no matter what. They can get it no matter what. And those people that want to go deeper, I'm available for them. And I am doing that kingdom work like my mom did. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the patterns of my kids and I'm praying for them. I'm like noticing, oh, Noah is going to do what he's going to do. There's that reflection. I'm going to do what I want to do. So I better start praying for the guides, the protections, all of that. So my kids are constant. And I'm like, I don't want that interrupted. I don't want to be, I know that when I have too many things on my plate, my attitude towards my daughter changes. And that impacts her whole reality. And that impacts every life that she's going to touch. And that girl can touch lives like she can make a friend with a post. So I'm just aware, like, I'm giving all of this to you guys because it's like, I want you to just have this really simple way of recognizing you like to work out, just do what you do. You like to do the mind stuff, Christy, do what you do. Just finding that area of focus and dreaming so much bigger. Does that make sense? Anybody else have anything? Danny?
Nicole, as you two were talking, what kind of came forward for me, like the difference between pushing through pain and intuitively leaning into discomfort. And I think that we have a misunderstanding of which is which.
Yes.
At least I think I do.
Yeah. Yep. And so like that pain that's like sharp, like you're limping, it's interrupting, you're not able to walk on it. That's probably a pain, right? That's a pain that we don't need. Like we need to be present with it. Don't push through it. Take it gently, take it slow, right? Whereas Jess, you probably felt some fascial soreness that it was like, yeah, that felt good, right? And so you have to start taking action though, to figure out what is like, nope, that ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna do that. Versus like, oh yeah, that felt good. Like for me, this process, it was like, I gotta take action. This is a process that's so exciting for me. And I wanna show people. And it's like, this is how I do it? Okay. And I just was like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like now, afterwards, I get to go and I get to be like, all right, am I willing to do more of that? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Or did that cause so much pain that I'm like, it's interrupting my time with my kids? And that creates way too much chaos, way too much pain where I can't move forward. Steals my energy. Yeah. Do you see the difference?
That's how I am.
Yeah.
That's what my thing with when I'm trying to walk through all my doors and trying to make things happen. It's all for the greater vision.
Yep.
To make money, to get out of debt, to take care of my daughter, all the things. Then I find that I don't spend the time with my daughter because I'm so concerned about making things happen that
So Danica, what
then I lose on both ends.
Did you notice that the exercises that I gave you were slowing down and sitting still? I made you do yin.
Yep.
You are so good at taking action. Now let's let something take action for you.
I would love that. Whew.
How many of you get sick the moment you have a rest day? Because you're like, oh, I don't have to go to work, but I'm going to do this. Mom, this, every vacation, sick the whole time. Because you don't rest. Danica, you had to stay in bed.
I'm really good at that.
Yep. So it's like, how many of you get sick when there's a rest day, when you don't have to work? It's like, oh, your body is like, you have to process all this crap that you're doing. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, I used to have that problem too.
Oh yeah, and then I end up spending the day with my daughter just watching movies when we could be out in the sun or out swimming or doing things, and it's a waste of life. We've seen every Disney movie ever made.
But you're getting to do what you actually want to do.
Well, that's true. I'm actually spending time with her. It's just I would like to have that, get to where I have that energy and in a different place that I normally am, my Danica space, where I'm ready to go and do whatever and anything and not just sit. And sitting is good, but at the same time, going into the pool is still relaxing. Just going outside, so not necessarily doing things that create more chaos, more doing the fun things that I want to do because my body feels good enough and my mind is in a place to do it. Haven't been to the park with her in a long time, and we used to go once or twice a week.
So here's what I want you to do. I still want you to practice more yin, and we'll dive into this next week more.
Okay.
Okay. So just keep practicing slowing down, like not doing the work. Not doing the work. Because because everybody's in their own place. You notice how it's like some people it's like, yeah, let's do the work. And other people, it's like, no, you need to slow down and not do any work. You've gotten crystal clear. And now you're moving faster. Like here's all the doors. You're moving faster than the doors are coming to you. You get what I'm saying? So you're like, it, I missed that. Right? It feels like it's like, oh,
Yeah, I've done it a lot.
yep. Instead of like
Okay.
sitting still and let the door come to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you, Danica, for sharing. I think that's everyone, right? Christy had to leave. So, all right, ladies. I want each of you, you all have my phone number. Be really present this next week. Those visions that you came in with, I want you to watch. Get so detailed. A vibe plate, a flower farm. Just get like those little stupid, those things that you think are stupid. Start with those small little things and watch this week how they come to you. It might not be in the form that you thought it was in, but watch. And then I want you all to just reach out to me, get in touch with me, keep like, here's 7 more days. Talk to me through this week, okay? Okay. Ladies that are in the group, you guys can keep chatting, but everybody else, just reach out to me, okay? I went a little over time. Thank you guys for understanding. And I hope you guys have a great day and keep me posted, okay?
Dude, thank you so much. Love you, ladies.
Love you, dear. Bye, girls.